Hello everybody, Artsy Dude here. Welcome to the Artsy Dude channel. In the art studio, somewhere here in this great United States of America. It's the place where creativity is more important than knowledge, but the acquisition of great knowledge, it's an art form, and the two, they go hand in hand. Thanks for joining me today. Hey, listen, I just wanted to talk a little bit about honesty and integrity and doing good research to get the facts out there. Now, we all know that the internet is full of bullshit. You know, I mean, 80% of the stuff that you read out there, even in just this ufology arena, is crap. You can't believe it. Excuse me. Young people go out, they read this stuff, some of them, and they take it to heart, and it becomes this giant story that keeps getting passed on, and there's no truth to it. I'll give you, for instance, let's talk about the Vatican, for instance. The Vatican supposedly named a telescope. They named a telescope after Lucifer in Arizona, right? Wow, everyone's heard that. Have you heard that? The Vatican have an observatory, and the telescope is named Lucifer. Oh my gosh. What a crock of crap. It's not real. Listen, the Vatican does own an observatory. They own numerous observatories. I'll tell you how I know this. I have a brother who's a retired Jesuit, okay? I have another brother who's a Catholic priest. I myself was raised in a Catholic family, so I know a lot about the Catholic Church. I know a lot about the Vatican, the inside, from the Jesuit standpoint and from the Catholic priesthood standpoint, okay? The Vatican has an advanced technology telescope, yes, okay? They do. It's a 1.8 meter Alice P. Lennon telescope, and it's Thomas J. Bannon Astrophysics Facility, known together as the Vatican Advanced Technology Telescope, the VAT, V-A-T-T. It's a Gregorian telescope observing in the optical and infrared space. It's located on Mount Graham in southeast Arizona in the United States. It achieved its first starlight to pass through a telescope onto its detector in 1993, okay? So the VAT, it's part of the Mount Graham International Observatory and is operated by the Vatican Observatory, one of the oldest astronomical research institutions in the world, in partnership with the University of Arizona. Now, just that little bit of research, I found nothing that said it was called Lucifer. And this was from a credible website. Do your research, people. There's no telescope out there called Lucifer that's owned by the Vatican, okay? There might be one called Lucifer owned by somebody else and nicknamed Lucifer. And by the way, the term Lucifer in astrology or astronomy can mean different things. It can mean morning star. It can mean first light. It can mean a number of different things. So used as a verb or a noun, it means something different. So it's not just used in the occult, okay? Let's keep that in mind. And you can take that to the bank. Anyways, I'm not saying that the Vatican, you know, I'm like standing up for the Vatican right here, but, you know, they're not without fault. I mean, they've got the largest art collection in the world, huge art collection. I mean, worth billions, if not trillions of dollars, and they could do a lot with that. I've had this argument with my brother, the priest, the Catholic priest. I've had this argument with my brother, the retired Jesuit, about how they could do so much more good in the world. A, by sharing the wealth, and B, by filling us in on some of the Vatican archives and secrets and predictions that have gone on throughout the ages. I mean, they've got an archive that's at least 2,500 years old. I mean, it goes back at least to the birth of Christ, which is 2,000 and change, and then I'm sure that they have acquired archives and documents from hundreds of years, centuries before that. There's predictions in there by Nostradamus. There's predictions in there by some of the saints. There's predictions in there by the Virgin Mother. So whatever you believe. But the point being is, transparency. Why can't they allow these truths to come out? I don't know. I mean, they're hiding something. And something's going on at the top of the Vatican. One recent thing that happened with regards to the Vatican was that Pope Francis on Friday accepted the resignation of Washington's Archbishop Cardinal Donald Wuerl, a trusted papal ally who became a symbol among many Catholics for what they regard as the Church's defensive and weak response to clerical sex abuse. Wuerl, this cardinal, became one of the highest profile prelates to step down in a year of prominent abuse scandals, And then on top of it, the Pope offers him a gentle landing, praising him in a letter and allowing him to stay on as the day-to-day administrator of the Washington Archdiocese until a successor could be found. Now that's kind of crazy if you think about it. I mean, I'm just going to set that down for a second. Yeah. So the Vatican is not without fault. And what do they know? I'm sure they've got so many secrets. Oh my gosh, they probably know so much. It's just, it's incredible. And would I like to get down in those vaults and look at some of those documents? Supposedly they will come out. There's a lot of different predictions. I mean, one prediction, and again, I don't know if this is true or not. I've never done any research on it, so I don't know. But I have heard one prediction that this will be the last pope before some final apocalyptic type of situation will envelop the earth. Now, what does that mean? We've heard about the event. And that's an apocalyptic world transitioning event that's supposed to happen, and it hasn't happened. We've heard about the rapture. Oh, the rapture. My shoes are going to be perfectly aligned, and my shirts, everything's going to be lined up, and all the people who are really good will be gone, and just us heathens will be left. I'm sure I'll be left. I won't be one of the ones that will be taken up, I'm sure. But there's so much crap out here. I mean, and to that point, I would say, if you believe in Christianity, if you believe in Christ, if you believe that Jesus died on the cross for the sins of mankind, for the sins of all mankind, past, present, and future, then you got a free ticket to ride. You don't have to worry about anything. By that great sacrifice alone, by him being tortured and beaten, a crown of thorns placed on his head, nails through his feet and hands, dies on the cross, and he says he does it for the forgiveness of sins for all mankind. Well, then what's everybody freaking out about? That you got to be born again. You got to be born again, and you've got to live this straight and narrow life. Why not? Why? Just be creative. Do what you want to do. Have fun. Take care of people. The point being is you treat people with respect. You treat nature with respect. Just keep on keeping on. But don't sweat the big picture. You already got a ticket to ride, okay? If you're going down that road. So that's my thoughts on that. And I can tell you one thing. That's my beliefs, and that's one thing that nobody will ever change me on. He already died for me. He already suffered for me. I'm not worrying about it now. He did it for me, and you, and her, and him, okay? He did it for all of us. So quit sweating it, man. Enjoy the ride. It'll all be over soon. It will. I mean, think about how fast life is going for you. Think about it, wherever you're at, how fast life has gone. You were in high school, and now you're finishing college. You were in high school, and now you're in your 15th year of a job. You were in high school, you just retired from your job. You were in high school, now you're on your deathbed. That's how fast it goes. So just enjoy the ride. There's so many different modalities out there that we need to understand. We're just scratching the surface of ufology, spirituality, consciousness. We don't know what's going on. But we are evolving, and this whole um, this whole idea of this power struggle and authoritarian regimes that we see around the world, including our own government, with all the secrets they keep from us, it's going to go by the wayside sooner or later. It has to. You know, one of the guys that I've been reading his book, Beyond UFOs, The Science of Consciousness and Contact with Non-Human Intelligence, Volume 1, Dr. Edgar Mitchell. Dr. Edgar Mitchell, as we know, is an astronaut. He's passed away. God rest his soul. He was a good man. 2 PhDs, walked on the moon, smart dude. But his point, one of his quotes, I just want to quote this. This is from Dr. Edgar Mitchell, Apollo 14 astronaut and the co-founder of Free, okay? Dr. Edgar Mitchell states, humankind's next phase of evolution will be more of an evolution in thought, knowledge, spirituality, and consciousness than one involving our biology or physiology, okay? It will likely be an evolution in consciousness triggered by research involving dramatic change in perceptions, values, beliefs, and attitudes, and a profound resultant shift in human behavior. As a consequence of this shift, the every man for himself paradigm, fueled by greed, will be supplanted by the all for one and one for all paradigm, fueled by a new spirit of altruism and unity. Wow. Excuse me. That's beautiful. That's profound. That's something to look forward to. I mean, at some point, this whole mentality of the guy that dies with the most toys wins. I mean, where did that come from? You know, we've been all warring for years, for centuries, for eons, right? Since dirt was invented. My father used to say, if there was 2 men left on earth, 2 people left on earth, it doesn't matter if it was men or women, or a man and a woman, they would fight. There'd be some component of aggression, and they would fight. And perhaps that's why we haven't seen a mass sighting or the idea of more alien intervention to this point. Maybe they know that that's inherent in our DNA, and they're trying to clean that out. These different modalities need to be studied more. And when I talk about these different modalities, this is what's talked about in this book by Dr. Edgar Mitchell and a number of other PhDs. We talk about the modalities of spirituality, ufology, UAPs, non-human intelligence, near-death experiences, orbs, poltergeists, occult, ghosts, and hallucinogenic shamanistic visions, okay? We put them all into one group and we call them these modalities. These are ways that are affecting humankind's consciousness and spirituality moving forward, and we need to understand them more. And look at this book. This book is just volume 1. And they're trying to understand this new modality, this new paradigm, I should say. It's interesting. We need to think more about that. How can we be better human beings? I mean, I talk about this at the end of my videos all the time, about being a better person, taking care of your parents, taking care of your neighbors, looking out for people, you know, not being so self-centered all the time. It's not about you. You know, last night my neighbors kept us up all night till like 4:30 in the morning. They're Brazilians, and they party all night. Nothing wrong with Brazilians. They party all night, and they've done this for years. They'll just pick 2 or 3 nights a week, and they stay up until dawn. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not a party pooper. But it's part of the respect factor. If you're in a neighborhood, then party till midnight or 1 in the morning, and then take it indoors and shut your doors. You can still party all night. I don't care. But don't subject the rest of the neighborhood who are trying to sleep or who have children, or in my case, I had a sick wife who didn't feel well, and they just went on and on and on. So that's what I talk about, this mutual respect, we've got to get to a point where we care about other people, where we say, wow, we really want to have this party, and we're going to get crazy until midnight, but then at midnight we're going to take it indoors because I have neighbors and I care about my neighbors. But no. You remember the old days, and I'm dating myself a little bit, but houses were built with front porches. They were built with front porches, and everybody sat out on their porch, and they intermingled with people. And this is when I was a kid, okay? And then we started seeing neighborhoods that were built, and you drive up to the neighborhood, and what do you see? The first thing you see is a garage. That's the first thing you see, is a 2-car garage. So you can pull your car in and shut your door, and you go in, and you don't have to communicate with anybody. And everybody was building their back porches and their decks and everything to be out back, because then they could spend time with themselves and they didn't have to intermingle with anybody. So they became sort of reclusive. Same thing at airports. Think about this. Before the advent of the cell phone, you'd go to an airport and you'd be waiting for your flight. You'd sit down and you'd have a conversation. You'd strike up a conversation with the person next to you or the person across from you. You'd find out about that person, where they were traveling. Not that you wanted to, but maybe they would provide that information voluntarily to you, and then you would tell them about you, and you'd strike up these conversations in airports all over the world. But then the cell phone came out, and what do? We look down, and we're like this. That's all we do. We look down, we do this. And we do it because it's an avoidance addiction. People literally have avoidance addictions these days. They don't want to interact. They just want to go into their own little world. I think we got to come out of that. We've got to start interacting and caring about the people around us. We've got to care about nature. Alien Protocols talks about taking care of our biosphere, and that's true. We've got to take care of the trees, and we've got to take care of the air and the space around us, you know. I mean, why are these aliens here, and why are they not showing themselves? Are they creating this dualistic sort of hybrid human race, as we've talked about, we've heard over the years? Or are they cleaning up our DNA to root out this warring tribal mentality that we have? You know, when you talk about, again, I've talked about this, when you talk about a one world government, people freak out. They go, oh, one world government, that's, you know, totalitarian, that's bullshit. No, we gotta, you know, tribalism, yeah, tribalism, yeah, you know. Why? What's wrong with a one world government? If that one world government takes into account all people, representative of all people of the world, and is fairly, it's executed in a fair manner, you know. Why? I mean, at some point, when a new species comes here and finally reveals themselves, what are we going to say? Oh, we're Chinese. Oh, we're Mexican. Oh, we're Italians. No, we're Earthlings. We're humans. We're all one. Think about that. I mean, now more than ever, we should be thinking about the point that we bleed the same blood. You know, we all have one heart, 2 eyes. We're all bipedal. We're humans, okay? So we need to change this paradigm. We need to become better citizens. Don't espouse and don't put out stuff on the internet that's fake. Fake news and fake UFO sightings and fake stories. I mean, if you're going to do it, tag it as fiction. This is a fictional account. It's an idea. It's a premise. It's a story, right? I mean, we've got to be better about that. We can do this together. I wonder, though, if it's going to be one of those situations where we still have to hit rock bottom before we go up further. But you would have thought World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and all of the, you know, wars with ISIS and the Islamic extremists and things of that sort would have taught us a lesson about how we could be better. I mean, this fanaticism, religious fanaticism, political fanaticism. It's ridiculous. I mean, the left calling the right this and the right calling the left that, and they're ready to go fisticuffs and kill each other. Over what? Over what? I mean, we should be helping each other, whether you're aligned politically to the right or to the left. We should be taking care of our elders, taking care of our ex-military, the people that served. And I have nothing against the military, nothing at all. But I think we're at a point that we need to be evolving beyond our military. In other words, turning our weapons into plowshares. Turning our weapons into plowshares. I never thought I would say that, but we need to do that. And why? Because we need to take care of this earth. If we are to succeed and we are to establish ourselves as a long-term civilization, then we need to change the paradigm. I remember reading a book once from Arthur C. Clarke called Rama. I believe it was Return to Rama or Rama. It's a series. I think it was Rama and then Return to Rama and Rendezvous with Rama. But at some point, there was this intelligent being that was, which is ironic now that I think about it, this intelligent being was half bipedal and half bird. Sounds like a Corey Good story, doesn't it? But at any rate, this being was showing the human in this darkened room different civilizations that have come and gone. And so they're in this darkened room, and this super intelligent alien is showing this human this room, and it's dark. And all of these little twinkles are going on, just little twinkles, twinkle, 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 like little lights turning on and off and on and off, little twinkles. And they're in the middle of the room. And the human asks this super intelligent alien and says, "What are all of these twinkles?" And the super intelligent alien said, "These are all representative of civilizations that have evolved, lived for millions of years, and then extinguished themselves because of some fault in their characteristics, in their DNA." And so each one of those little sparks, boop, boop, represented millions of years of a civilization evolving, living, and then dying out. And they were twinkling. The whole room was twinkling. So what does that mean? Think about that. Civilizations come and go. And we could be one of those civilizations on our way to going out, never to be seen again. The human in this room, in this story by Arthur C. Clarke, spots one light that's consistent and it's not blinking. And he asks the alien, he says, "What is that one over there that's not blinking? It's just holding its own." And the alien said, "That's humanity. It's held out this long. But it could go out at any time." Think about that. That was so profound. I mean, I remember when I read that, that was very, very profound. So here are all these civilizations blinking in and out of reality. And then humanity, the beacon, the one light that has not gone out. But it could. It very well could. Easily. We have to change. And I'm hoping that my little tiny thing that I do here on YouTube can help. If I can help to change or to at least reach 10 people. If I can reach 10 people and those 10 people reach 10 people and they say, "Hey, artsy dude, man, he's got this great philosophy and he really is talking about changing the paradigm." And I'm not the only guy that's doing this. I mean, there's preachers out there, you've got preachers on TV every Sunday and super prominent people and that are followers. They have millions of followers, They espouse the same thing. They talk about it every Sunday. They talk about it during the week, So I'm nothing. I'm just this little guy trying to do it in my own little creative way. So I've covered a lot of topics here today, and I've kind of rambled. and I'm wearing my crazy mask. Got to make some new ones. Now that the studio is starting to cool off, I'm going to get out here. Instead of working with the fans going out here, I can start building some more masks. I got one right back here, right there, that I'm working on. Sort of like a praying mantis type mask. But I'm working on a number of different ones. Frank over here, he keeps me company. That's Frank. Hi, Frank. Anyways, I've rambled on a lot today, but I don't know, it felt good. And I hope that I can touch somebody out here. I can reach somebody, because this whole thing about consciousness and using our minds and our hearts to reach people, you know, these CE5 groups are great. You know, they reach out. Let's not be fooled. Let's not be fooled that every blinking light in the sky is somebody trying to, you know, reach us. But let's just use some common sense. Joe from the Carolinas, common sense. Guy's a smart kid, you know, smart guy. Anyways, thank you for joining us today and listening to my ramblings. Remember again, I'll close by saying, please take care of your parents, take care of your elders, respect people in social media. There's no need to cuss people out and to use profanities. You know, there's no need for it. Watch it. You know, what comes out of your mouth, once it's out there, you can't take it back. So please don't hide behind the face of the internet and call people out and call them names and disrespect them. Let's have good, sound, civilized debate, okay? Take care of your animals. Love your animals, your dogs and your cats, your lizards and your snakes, whatever kind of pet you have. Take care of them. Love on them, especially dogs and cats, though. They are stress sponges. You ever notice how dogs and cats come around when you are the most stressed out? You start petting them, and all that stress goes through your fingertips and your hands into their, as you're petting them, into their bodies. And then before long, you're not stressed out anymore. And they walk away and lay down, and they've absorbed all your stress. They're beautiful. They were put here for a reason. So whether you own a dog or a cat or a horse, you know, a pony, a donkey, whatever it is, love on them. Take care of the animals of this world. Take care of the biosphere. Don't litter. You know, don't litter, okay? Pick up your trash, take it home and throw it away. It doesn't take much to do that, all right? So, listen, artsy dude out for now. You guys take care of yourself. I hope to see you again soon, okay? Much love and much peace. Bye-bye.